Good afternoon. My name is Jim Conlan, and welcome to the latest episode of our entertainment show. As you know, in part three of our entertainment show, we premiere new movies and TV series that are debuting in Ireland and the UK this month, and especially with our Irish interest. And one of the movies coming out around St. Patrick's weekend that is debuting in movie cinemas and theatres all across Ireland. It's a sort of complicated sort of horror story with a twist. It's called The Ghost Within. It stars Victor Mellors, Tom Millen, Rebecca Phillipson, and our special guest this evening, the one and only Michaela Longden. If you recognize Michaela's face, you might actually be maybe remember her from her time in Coronation Street and in our time spending on the cobbled aisles of Coronation Street, which obviously can be seen in BBC One and TV3 and Virgin One all across Ireland as well. But we're here this evening to talk about The Ghost Within. And Michaela, before we came on air, I asked you, were you excited about the premiere? And you were telling me it's really coming about so fast that your anticipation is gone into overdrive.
Yes, I am super excited. We didn't realize it was going to be released so soon. We were supposed to have a premiere and everything beforehand, and we've not even managed to, because the Fowlers, who are the production team behind this film, they're currently filming Jack in the Box 3. So it's come on so soon, so we've not even seen it yet. So I'm really excited for it to come out because I want to watch it.
And Michaela, I've watched the trailer and it does look sort of fascinating. But for our audience and our viewers that haven't seen the trailer, you might enlighten us what The Ghost Within is about and its sort of concept and premise without giving too much away.
Yeah, sure. So it follows my character Margot, who is suffering from some mental health problems and has suffered from some mental health problems for quite some time. She has a lot of memory loss from her childhood, and her sister died at around the same time that she lost her memory. So Margot goes on a mission to find out what happened and to regain her lost memories, essentially, because it's just got to the point where she can't deal with the night terrors, the anxiety anymore.
So is Margot stuck in maybe between truth and reality in terms of what she believes is going on in the real world and what's going on in her head as well? Is it two play sequences playing out at the both time in terms of what we see on our TV screens, what's going on in reality in terms of Margot and what's going on in terms of what she envisions in her head as well?
Well, I don't want to give too much of the game away when it comes to that, because it could be seen as both. So I'll leave that with you. But yeah, she definitely does seem to have some visions, and whether or not those visions are real, the audience will find out later on in the film.
And I suppose when we're talking about the horror sort of stories, in terms of death and in terms of ghosts, and we see a post-traumatic stress in terms of events that happen in the past as well. Is this really a classic case of a lady that has gone through a post-traumatic event and is suffering from PTS?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's exactly what it is. Yeah, she's gone through PTSD, and this, what we see as a woman who has struggled for years and years and years with that condition and hasn't really faced it head on.
And I suppose the concept about her sister Evie and the murderer and how she got murdered 20 years ago, and obviously played by the character of the wonderful Rebecca Phillipson as well. Are we seeing maybe a sort of trying to solve this sort of jigsaw or this puzzle 20 years ago, and in terms of reality, are we constantly jumping from back 20 years into the past, into the future, then going back to the future sort of premise in this movie?
There are some elements of that where we do jump back to the past, but not throughout it. No, it stays very much in the present. We don't really jump back to the past until later on, when things are kind of unearthed a little bit more, or we think things are unearthed.
Yeah, and Michaela, in terms of the shooting now of the movie, in terms of you're based in Manchester at the moment, obviously I assume it's a UK production. Where did you start to shoot the movie? Did you shoot it in London, or did you shoot it central, maybe around Manchester, Liverpool, or in that area?
So we actually shot the film for 4 weeks in Northampton.
Northampton.
Yeah,
not really a sort of
you wouldn't think so,
sort of clinical
but
sort.
Lots of like really grand, beautiful houses and really fitting for the location. And the production company were based there, so it just makes sense for them as well. But yeah, the Ruby, who is the partner to Lawrence, who's the director, she does the casting and helps produce as well. She does photography, wedding photography. So one of the venues was actually a wedding venue that she has worked with. So it was a really, really beautiful, grand house. But on the top layer of the house, up the stairs, it was quite creepy. So yeah, it was a great location.
And tell me, in terms of Margot, in terms of when you saw the script, when you saw the portrayal of the character, what sort of jumped out at you immediately when your talent agent or brought this to your attention to say, listen, we might have a role that might be inclined to you. Would you have a read? Would you go into audition for it? Was there something in it that you said, yeah, that sounds keen, that sounds interesting, that whole horror sort of dare I say, genres, horror suspense genre, to get away from the whole drama side of things, which you're all too familiar with?
Yeah, I mean, it was a bit of a different one. So I'd worked with the Fowlers on Jack in a Box 2, Jack in a Box Awakening, and I was a role in that. And they wrote this role for me. So that was a real privilege and a massive honor. Obviously, they didn't know whether or not I would accept it. But I was thrilled to have a role written for me and loved working with the team. So for me, there was no doubt in my mind I would love the script. And when I read the script, I actually fell in love with it. It has got such a character arc. There is such a character journey throughout. And you don't always get that with horror. So it was really nice that there's kind of like that drama intertwined with horror, where you really see this woman and what she's going through, and you see her grow and develop and shatter, so that there was lots to play with. And for any actor, that's really exciting.
And in terms of filming and shooting and production, was it from start to finish when you shot it? Obviously, you probably shot it after the COVID era when that had started passed. So were you talking maybe 6 to 8 weeks sort of shoot, and were they long days from 6 a.m. until 6 p.m. or what was your sort of schedule? Or were you able to maybe try out for other roles or take up pilot episodes or one-off episodes while you were filming this project?
Yeah, it's quite an intense shoot. So it's 4 weeks, Monday to Friday, and the days changed. We could be shooting usually around 12-hour days, but sometimes they would go on a lot later. But yeah, for this particular shoot, there weren't too many early mornings. Most of my start times were about like 10, 11, and then we'd be shooting into the night, like late into the night, sometimes early hours of the morning. So it was long hours. It always is for these kind of projects. But yeah, it was mainly the cold that was the issue, because it was just so cold in every single venue. It was really big houses and just freezing. It was colder inside the house than outside the house.
And Michaela, in terms of horror productions, there's normally an awful lot of stunts involved in them in terms of an actress. So did you do all your own sort of stunts for this movie in terms of those screamish sort of scenes, or did you have a stunt double in any cases?
Oh no, I did it all. I mean, there's not a hell of a lot of stunt scenes. There is one particular scene which involved a leaf blower and a rope tied to my ankle. That's enough said about that one. But yeah, no, absolutely, I was fully in for everything.
And Michaela, I do believe it's a busy time for you at the moment with an awful lot of projects in the pipeworks. You might enlighten our audience in terms of what we might see you in terms of our TV screens for the remainder of 2023. Yeah,
sure. So I filmed a film called Eating Miss Campbell, which is in theatres in the States at the moment. It's doing the festival circuit. I have also filmed Lord of Wolves. That was filmed in January, so that'll be coming out in the tail end of this year. I'm filming Baron at the moment, with a BAFTA winner called Simon Minskell. He's the director of that, which is exciting. And a local production called Cara, another horror, really, really dark horror, written and directed by Hayden Hewitt, and that'll be filming in April. So quite a lot of horrors.
And Michaela, do you sort of like being able to take up productions in movies and I guess appearances rather than be sort of bogged down in terms of a TV sort of regular or sort of soap regular where it's the same working environment for maybe 3-4 years? Or do you feel that maybe you have done that sort of stint now that you're, as an actress, you're excited about taking up multiple different projects, being able to go from 6-week shoots to the next sort of shoot? Or is it actresses more you take what you get, or do you like to have that stability in terms of your work environment?
I mean, I don't think I've ever particularly had that stability. I've not had like a long, I suppose, stable stunt in TV. But I do love the variation that working within the film genre and the drama genre gives you. Obviously, there's two sides to it. You know, when you've got the regular income, and it's much more calm because you know you're going to work every day. But on the flip side, you don't get that variation, and that's one of the reasons why I'm in this industry, because I love telling stories, I love playing characters, and I love challenging myself. So for me, absolutely doing new things, trying out different roles, different genres, different TV series, different shows is 100% a massive win. But then again, I wouldn't shun like a regular role either. You know, it all depends on what is useful for you in that period of time. And the way things are in this industry, you know, you can't always be too picky, in all honesty. You know, it's hard enough to land a role, let alone to decide, oh, actually that one's not suited for me, because you know what I mean? We don't really have that gift. We kind of, as long as you're in my head, I'm like, if I'm passionate about the script, if I love the role, I'm in. You know, I'm in. That's me. That's what I'm doing it for. So yeah.
And Michaela, you mentioned there before we came on air that you've been to Dublin a few times and you plan to come back to Ireland again in the near future. You have a friend above in Belfast, but obviously it's a hop and a skip in terms of coming over from Manchester to Ireland. It's not the greatest sort of journey. What are your sort of memories of your time in Dublin?
It was, you know what, it was so much fun. I've got so many different memories of Dublin, ranging from walking down the street and me and my friend getting egged. We don't know why, but it just happened, to getting Irish coffees and watching Irish dancing and going out on the night out and everyone just being so friendly and so chatty. Really, really fond memories of when we went to Dublin, and I certainly, yes, we'll be coming back. It's and we went on a beautiful cliffside walk as well. I can't remember where we were actually. I don't know what it was called, but we had the ocean, and there was a beautiful restaurant close by where we had like loads of shellfish. It was just gorgeous. You've got everything in Ireland, haven't you? You've got the terrain, you've got the scenery, you've got the nightlife, you've got the people. There is a lot going on. So yeah, I'll definitely be venturing back.
And Michaela Longden, for the final 30 seconds, I might turn it over to you. You might enlighten all our audience, all our listeners, why they should tune in en masse St. Patrick's weekend for the release of The Ghost Within. And what's in store for them, Michaela?
Well, I don't think there's that many ghost stories out there, compelling ghost stories out there at the moment. And so for me, a brand new ghost story is something that I really look forward to. So definitely tune in for that. It's a real psychological treat and you don't know where it's going. And yeah, if you really are into your ghost thrillers, it's definitely something that you would enjoy. It's got a great cast as well. Great cast.
On that note, Michaela Longden, thanks for taking the time to speak to us this evening. We wish you and the cast of The Ghost Within all the best and all the future success for the coming year. From me, Jim Conlan, to you, Michaela Longden, stay safe, take care, God bless, and do visit us sometime again in the near future.
Absolutely. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you.